Once again, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Paul Palan. I'm the product educator here at DMF Lighting. Today, we're going to be going over our H Series family overview presentation. So we're going to cover the H Series family of recessed downlights and cylinders. The H Series really is a great product family. It's targeted at a low price point and sort of feature-rich environment. So it's built around a series of 3 and 4-inch housing, so it's a very configurable family as well. You'll see we've added in also some additional options into the family within the last couple of months that sort of expanded the number of use cases and possible applications and installation environments. It's all built around really the H Series module, which is a 3-inch diameter module that gives you up to 950 lumens of output. And a couple of different static and warm dim CCTs that we'll look at. So again, this family is all designed around a set of 3-inch and 4-inch housings and trims. So that's really nice that it gives you the versatility to choose between those two different aesthetics, whether it's a slightly smaller aperture look or that more traditional 4-inch aperture that fits different projects in different sizes. We have a variety of different housings available in the fixture family. So the original housings that were designed and built for the family are these plastic ABS housings. So this is the new construction version that you see in the first tile on the screen here. So it has a traditional set of bar hangers that go between 18 and 24 inches, and then sort of that traditional can style housing. These are really great in that they stack really efficiently on the job site. So one small box of them can really fit a large number of housings. So it's a lot more efficient to move around. Plus, they're extremely light and easy to maneuver. These housings also relatively unique to some of our housings come with the wiring adapter supplied with the housing. So the rough-in process is even simplified in that way because everything is there that you need to install the housing, get the wiring in, and then roughed in with your electrical. And then that has the orange quick connect that goes to your module as well. We also have a remodel housing that's in the same construction style as this new construction housing. So great for those remodel applications with those two winged spring clips that hold it into your drywall. Again, both of these are available in the 3-inch and 4-inch sizes. We also have our H3FR housing. So this is a 3-inch fire rated housing. So for those multifamily fire rated applications that you maybe need a metal housing or a plenum rated housing, this is going to fit that bill. If any of you have been with DMF for a longer period of time, you might be familiar with our older version of the H3FR, was this version right here. This is a very shallow solution, but was only compatible with our flush mount trims. We've since made an update to the H3FR. So this is the new version of that H3FR. Yeah, it's actually sort of an adapted version of the 4-inch fire rated housing, the 4-inch F4NC. So it has a 3-inch collar in the front that is going to fit into your different ceiling thicknesses. So that can collapse up and down to fit your different ceiling heights or thicknesses rather. And now because of that expanded volume on the inside, this 3-inch housing works with all of our 3-inch trims. So that's a great benefit there. You can get a really shallow plenum solution, so the height of a standard junction box, while still accommodating all of our 3-inch trim. So you can have something like the square trim or our standard round trim. Any of those trims will work in that 3-inch H3FR now. Finally, we do have the F4NC. You might know the F4NC to be also used with our S series products. So it is, again, a 4-inch shallow junction box solution. So that gives you the ability to use it with our flush mount trims here. So this flush mount trim as well, which we'll cover a little bit, is also retrofittable into standard junction boxes because of the shallow nature of the trim. So it gives you the H series performance in that shallow junction box installation. So both of those options are available and able to be used with our flush mount trim. Some of the new additions, again, I've covered the sort of expansion with the H3FR that we've seen just now. Two other ones that are now available in the family are these 4-inch metal plenum rated housings. So we have a standard rating that is available. So this is great for, those plenum rated spaces that have air returns, or maybe like some more high-rise condo type buildings that might need a plenum rated housing. So that's in the standard rating as well as the fire rating. So you can now have another option for a 4-inch fire rated housing that will accommodate all the standard trims. So whether it's the round, the square, the adjustable, all of those trims will also work in this 4-inch fire rated housing. So new options that are available to the family within the last couple of months that are really, again, expanding your options for installation types and different types of projects that maybe have those requirements. Again, I spoke a little bit about retrofit compatibility. So for one, there are retrofit opportunities for existing junction boxes like we've just talked about in the previous slides. So all of those sort of standard 4-inch junction boxes are able to be used with this flush mount trim. You just need to make sure that you're meeting that minimum 2 1/8 inch depth requirement for your module and wiring. But that is the module and the trim there. Again, this flush mount trim is not the same full recess or regress depth as our standard trim. It's more of a flush mounted appearance as opposed to our standard trim. It does have a little bit of a benefit in some ways that we're even increasing the cutoff angle and letting more light up the walls. So if you do have a smaller number of fixtures or maybe a very confined space, places like closets, pantries, those types of areas, this flush mount trim will be of a benefit in that way. It lets more light up the walls than just the standard trim. But that is able to retrofit into some standard outlet boxes. If you have existing 4-inch housings by other manufacturers, there's a number of them out there in the market. So this list is by no means exhaustive, but certain ones like Halo, Lithonia, Progress, all have some pretty standard 4-inch housings. Any of our H series modules and trims will be able to fit into those different housings. And then finally, this is our least preferred option. We want you to use DMF throughout, but if you do have a light engine from other manufacturers that fits within that 13 watt and the class 2 output and the maximum height of 3 3/8 inches, those can fit within our H series housings as well. So that housing can be used in potentially other applications with other modules and trims from different manufacturers. So all those options exist for either retrofit or sort of cross compatibility with other fixture components and types. A little bit more about the actual H series and the module. So again, it's all a 3-inch module. We feature a lumen selectable output on this fixture family. So it ranges in the back here with this lumen switch that goes from 350 up to 950 lumens. So 350, 750, or 950. One nice advantage here is that this module is used within our cylinders, which we'll talk about a little bit later. So some of those pendants or things like that in some of those closer mounting scenarios might want a slightly lower output. Or if you just have, a shorter ceiling, 750 lumens might be enough. So you have that flexibility to really set the light and tune it to your particular application. So that's one great benefit of the H series. This module is available in 3 different color temperature options. So we have the HM3C. This is the longest standing, and the family was initially introduced with only the HM3C warm dim option. And so this is a really nice 3000 to 2200 warm dim. It kicks in right around 50%. So it dims down really smoothly to a nice warm 2200 Kelvin, and then it has a much more crisp, bright 3000K at the top end. So really great option for a lot of different residential applications, multifamily, hospitality, and those types of projects. We also have 2 new static CCTs, so the HM30 and the HM27 are our static CCTs. So this is the HM27 here against the backdrop, as well as the HM30. So great for those projects that maybe are still utilizing dimmers, but want to maintain a static CCT for whatever reason. Those are two new options that are adding to the family as well. All three of these modules in these different configurations are 120 volt triac dimmable, and it's a 5% dimming performance. So really smooth dimming all the way down to that nice 5% on 120 volt triac dimming. Once again, that warm dim that we have looked at, again, that really kicks in right around 50% of intensity. So you do get a static 3000 or a consistent 3000 Kelvin in that top range. And then 50% and below starts to shift all the way down to that 2200. So just something to take note of. It's quite a nice effect and gives you a little bit more room in that sort of neutral 3000 Kelvin, and then lets you shift down into that 2200. The different trim styles that we have available, we've looked at a few of these so far, but again, 4-inch and 3-inch sizes are available for the family. We do have that flush mount trim that we've seen already so far, which is, the second one on the screen here. So again, in 3 and 4-inch sizes, that gives you a bit more of a flush mounted and potentially more compatibility with shallow plenum solutions. We have our standard round trim, which is going to be probably one of the most commonly used. Once again, 3 and 4-inch sizes. This is a version of that in the 4-inch size and our 3-inch. Personally, I really love the 3-inch size in this family. It's a really nice, very nicely scaled and proportionate downlight. That is a great size for so many different projects. And again, comes in an extremely competitive price point for a 3-inch downlight. We also have some different square options. So we saw this 3-inch square trim with our H3FR. So again, 3 and 4-inch. One thing to note here, this is a round on square. So you see the round aperture at the upper inner diameter of the trim where the module is. So it's a round opening that transitions to a square cutout in the ceiling. This is really compatible with our round housings. We should note we don't have a square housing in this product family. So that's how we're achieving that, is with that round on square. It's also a lot more efficient and not cutting out any potential output from that round aperture of our module. And finally, we do have some adjustable trims available here. So the adjustable trims are in these two sizes. In the 4-inch one, it's going to look just like this, and we grab the module for you all. The module sits within it and gives you a nice amount of tilt adjustment, so you can have some flexibility to aim your light and then just set the trim in whatever pan orientation you need within the housing. The 3-inch adjustable is a bit more of a flush mount or surface mount appearance. So it sits down below the ceiling quite a bit and has a bit more of a surface mounted appearance. So just take note of that if you're looking at the adjustable trim for the 3-inch size. A couple other new additions here are some flangeless options as well. So we're adding in a little bit more of some more premium features for a slightly more budget-driven fixture. Again, the labor is going to come in when you have that flangeless install. However, you're definitely saving a fair amount on, by going to a more affordable module and housing overall. So these are great options that really expand the number of, again, installation types and the aesthetic for the fixture family. So these are the trims themselves. They actually come together with the mud plate in this instance, so no separate ordering of the mud plate. The mud plate is actually the mechanism that holds the trim into place in the ceiling. So it has sort of these ball clips that snap into that mud plate and hold everything together. So this is the square version. Again, we have a round on square opening as well as our round. Black and white finishes, just like the other trims in the family. One thing to note here is that these are the trims themselves in the ceiling plane are about 3.25 inches at the opening or at the at that outer diameter, but you will find them on the 4-inch spec sheet. You do need a 4-inch housing to accommodate the back end of the mud plate. So we have our 4-inch housing here and the mud plate that fits over that. So they fit together just like that, but the ultimate trim diameter is really more in the 3-inch size. So you're getting that that slightly more that smaller proportion and really nice sort of petite look. Again, these are also going to be compatible with all the different housings that we have here. So our standard new construction and remodel with that plastic style, as well as our metal plenum and fire rated housings. So those options all work and have a lot of compatibility there. So just a quick look at the product builder. Again, this is the product builder for the 4-inch family. You'll notice now on the H Series page on our website that we have separate spec sheets for new construction, 4-inch, 3-inch, as well as some different remodel or retrofit options rather. So all of those are laid out very cleanly so you can find exactly what you're looking for. You'll see here we have our module up at the top, some of the different, the housings rather, as well as those new plenum rated options. We have the module to choose from down below, and then finally our trims. So we have this broken out to our flanged trims and now these new flangeless trims as well. So you have all those different things to choose from. The H Series, again, is a really pretty straightforward, very few footnotes on this spec sheet. You can see there's, I think, 2 footnotes altogether. They're just sort of clarifying a few things. So there's a large amount of compatibility between all of the pieces, just a few small exclusions with that flush mount trim and certain housings. Real quick, I won't go through all of this in extended detail, but just sort of laying out some of these different options and seeing how the H Series compares to a more affordable and a more expensive fixture within the DMF line. So we have the S Series as well as the M Series residential. The H Series, really to qualify us as or to classify, is a recessed fixture family. The S Series is our surface mounted product. So slightly different class of fixture here, but the S Series is going to be our most affordable product line. The S Series is really available in static CCTs and really has a very wide beam spread of about 150 degrees. And then is available in 3 different static CCTs, so 2700, 3000, and 35. There's triac as well as 0 to 10 volt options for the S Series. A lot of different housing options. It is a wet rated fixture, closet rated, UL rated, of course. One thing to note, and I didn't mention this in the previous slides, but the H Series is wet rated as well for any of the standard flanged trims. So these new flangeless trims, as well as the adjustable trim, those are going to be damp rated, but all of these standard flange trims are a wet rated configuration. On the other side of things, with the M Series residential, we're moving into a lot more options. One of the most notable ones is going to be additional optics and beam spreads. So both the S Series and H Series are really more of a general ambient 90+ degree beam spread. So very wide and diffuse in the beam spread there. M Series residential has options all the way down to a narrow spot, 15 degree, plus specific options like linear spread and soft focus. So a lot more options in that category. We have extended options in the CCTs. So we have a 2400, a 35, and a 4000 even, plus some tunable white. We have dolly options, a deeper depth of dimming at a minimum or maximum of 0.1, a maximum of 1%, plus our dolly options that bring you down to 0.1%. We also have dual voltage that's featured in the M Series residential, so more commercial-oriented applications or 277 volt applications are going to be serviced well by that M Series residential. Also to note, the S Series does have some 277 volt options if you're going with that 0 to 10 volt dimming option. So just sort of a quick overview and layout of the different fixture options or different options that you might get with either of these 2 different families and how the H Series lines up in between those both. To wrap things up, just going to do a quick look at our cylinder options for the H Series. So we have a pendant mount option that is on the table behind me here. So it's a really great, simple pendant mount. It has a 4-foot field cuttable cord. One of the really great things about all of our cylinders here at DMF is that they utilize the same exact module on the inside of the fixture. So the driver is located directly within the cylinder and the extrusion itself. So there's no additional drivers or remote drivers to coordinate or hide within a junction box. We have a very simple canopy mount that's going to fit any standard junction box in your ceiling, and then a magnetic cover plate that gives you a very clean installation on the ceiling. So you have a very nice, clean installation there. Again, this 4-foot cord can be set and cut to whatever length you need that might be shorter. So you have a lot of flexibility there. And again, this is going to be configurable with any of those 3 different H series modules. So be it the 2700, the warm dim, or the 3000 static options. The other cylinder in the family is our wall mount. It's a really awesome wall mount that is, for one, IP65 rated, so good for fully uncovered exterior applications. And it's also under the 4-inch ADA requirement. So great for those sort of multifamily projects, places that have corridors or places where you need to meet that ADA requirement and clearance. It's available in the black finish that you see here, as well as a white finish. So 2 different finish options, and has a mounting plate that fits any sort of standard junction box, whether it's a 4-inch, 3-inch, single gang. All those different options are accommodated there. And again, is a fully IP65 rated solution. So it has the same module on the inside that, again, can be set at any of those different lumen outputs and configure with those different CCTs. One thing to note about the H series cylinders, so these are going to come in a very simple 3-piece, 3 different pieces within your shipment. So when you open up the box, you have the module itself, a trim that it simply snaps onto, and then the cylinder extrusion. So the module features that same quick connect. So all you have to do is connect that to the inside of the cylinder, connect your ground wire, and then put the trim and everything together. So a small amount of assembly, but we do that primarily so that you be sure to set your lumen output switch before you hang and set up your fixture, so you know that everything's gonna be set to the exact brightness that you want throughout your project. That sort of wraps up all the different things that I have to look at with you all today. If anybody has any additional questions, things they want to see, I'll stick around for a few minutes and address any of that. Otherwise, thank you guys all for joining me, and I hope to see you all again soon.